Welcome back to the Bates Kitchen. We have not done one of these in a while, and we were cooking chicken pot pie, which Mom has a new version that I actually like. I didn't love the one growing up.
You cannot dislike chicken pot pie.
You can be picky about anything, I found out. My kids are even pickier than I was, but I'm getting better.
But you'll find out when you watch this, chicken pot pie can be a lot more versatile than what you first thought. So you can make it likable.
Check it out from last week's video, and then now we're gonna get into answering some of the questions y'all asked while these things were in the oven. Actually, you can see them over here in the oven behind me right now. Starting right off at the top, how did Gil propose to you? I actually love this story.
Oh my goodness, he proposed twice, actually. The first time.
So why did he propose twice?
I broke up with him. But not for long, because he just had a way of wooing my heart. But anyway, the first time I was at the lake.
This is the one I remember, yep.
In the summer times, I lived at, my parents had a little lake house. We called it a lake house. It was more like a little trailer. And I was there in the summer, and it was an off day for me, but I thought Gil had to work. And he surprised me. He snuck over and hid behind trees. I was out floating on the lake, and he actually was trying to figure out, just off the top of his head, to surprise me, how's he gonna get out in the water? He didn't know I'd be in the water. How's he gonna get out there and surprise me? So he actually put the ring in his mouth and swam underwater, and he kept coming up.
Taking a risk.
I was asleep on a float, and he pops up on the other side of, one of those big rafts. He pops up, and I, of course, scream and jump up, and he just puts this ring out like this.
Did he say anything?
He says, "Will you marry me?" And I just, a mixture of emotions, like, what are you doing here? I was scared to death, woke up like that, but then also the excitement and the joy and the, oh my goodness.
It sounded romantic in his mind.
It was probably the most very creative proposal I've ever heard of.
And so what was the second time?
The second time was on our college campus at Carson Newman College, and I was not expecting it, and we were walking to class together, and he just started to pop down on his knee, and as he was doing that, one of the professors was walking by and realized what this moment was fixing to be about. The whole college campus was expecting us to get married, and so the professor says, wait, and he comes up and he stands there. He goes, "I want to witness this." And he stood there and watched, and Gil got, of course, all the students were all over the campus watching. Everybody was watching and clapping because they were waiting on,
so you couldn't
this
say
time.
No then.
Yep.
He got you trapped.
I'm smelling pot pie. Hang on.
We're going to take a quick break and pop out last week's chicken pot pie. A special thank you to Factor for sponsoring today's video. We were sitting and eating supper the other day, and I was just talking about how out of shape I felt and honestly complaining about, not being in shape. And my wife mentioned that it's kind of crazy because back when you had just gotten out of police academy, we would be sitting down for dinners just like this, and you'd be talking about how you felt like you were in amazing shape. And she's right. I was in probably the best shape of my life. And she pointed out that, you talked about how much you loved running, and you ran all of the time in police academy. I didn't love when I started, but by the time I got out, it was something I really enjoyed. And let's just say I haven't exactly kept that up over the years, obviously. The problem is that when I come in from a run, I'm literally starving. I will eat everything in sight. And my wife told me, again, pointed out so helpfully, that you run for 30 minutes and you come in 5 minutes, what you've eaten has destroyed all of the hard work you're doing. And she had a brilliant suggestion. She said, instead of going to the snack drawer or something like that, why don't you just eat your Factor meals when you finish running? In 2 minutes, I can have a chef-crafted, fresh, never frozen meal ready that meets all of my fitness goals and keeps me from binging on junk that I shouldn't be eating. They've also got their smoothies, which are literally amazing. Whitney has already claimed my strawberry banana smoothie, or I would be showing that to you. On top of that, Factor has just introduced their healthiest menu yet. They've doubled the menu to 80+ rotating meals, added more high protein options, doubled the seafood options, and they even let you swap out proteins at no extra cost. Factor honestly takes all the guesswork out of clean eating, especially on those busiest days, whether it's kids, work, or trying to get in shape and start running again. So here's the deal. You can head to factor75.com, click the link below in my description, or scan the QR code right here on the screen and use code BatesKitchen FB50 to get 50% off of your first box plus free breakfast for an entire year. Let's see, what is it like to be almost empty nesters to Mama Bates? Yeah, I'm certainly not almost an empty nester.
I don't feel like an empty nester. Our house is definitely emptier, but I feel like I'm
Well, the
more.
grandkids come over a
Yes,
good bit.
I feel like I'm more busy now than I
You
ever
travel
was.
all the time.
Because I have married kids, I have in-laws now, I have grandkids now, still have the 7 at home, and trying to be involved in everybody's life.
Wait, stop. Almost an empty nester. We're all looking at you like, yeah, all your kids are grown up. You still have 7 kids at home. That's still a pretty big family.
Yeah.
That's
So-
more kids than I have still at home after
Yeah.
how many marriages now?
I mean, the ones at home are older now. Jeb, our youngest, is 13.
But that's still
But yes,
a lot of kids.
There's still never a dull moment. You know, I get calls, hey, Mom, do you mind babysitting the grandkids today? And of course, I love that. That's a highlight for me. But I was just going to say, there's never a slow down time.
No, there's not.
And I still like to make visits to Mama Jane and, you know, check on her. So between the kids, the grandkids, the
in-laws.
kids still at home, and, you know,
Extended
Mom,
family.
it's just, there's not
That's
a rest time. So,
there is no rest.
No
I'll tell you
rest.
that. Which kid? This is actually I want to hear your answer on this. Which kid was the hardest kid to cook for?
the hardest kid to cook for. You were picky in some ways, you said.
I was afraid she was going to say
Yeah,
that.
Warden's a picky eater, but he kind of makes
Trace
his
was
own
picky.
food. Trace was picky.
He's still picky.
Yeah, there's a lot of picky ones. I will tell you the funniest one that I thought. Alyssa was not a picky eater because she actually enjoyed cooking, and she cooked a lot of the meals.
She could cook for a whole
so she was
family.
helpful. But I will tell you something funny. We would go to Cracker Barrel, and the other kids would just be dying to order something good on the menu. Alyssa would always order
The chicken-
Cheerios.
oh.
A bowl of Cheerios.
I do remember
And
that.
I'm thinking, why would you go to a restaurant and order a bowl of Cheerios? So I
You know
always
who
thought
I
that was
remember?
funny.
I remember Katie when she could just learn to talk. She would always pray for salad.
Yes.
Lord, please let us eat a salad.
Yes, it's funny because
she had an accent
there
to
was
it.
a lady in our church that she loved, and in fact, we named Caliana after her. Her name was Roseanne Brown, and all the kids adored her. And she had this strong New York accent, and so Katie, from hanging around her, would talk with her accent.
Yes.
And so when she prayed, she said, "And Lord, please give us salad," and we would just all crack up.
She wanted
you
a
know?
salad for every meal.
Every
If you
meal.
asked- every meal
Every
she
meal,
wanted to
but-
pray for the meal, and she prayed that we would have salad.
Yes.
I should probably be praying for salad right now, but I'm eating chicken pot pie instead. Let's see. Favorite family traditions growing up. You know, I want to do this 2 ways. One, I want to
Okay.
hear your family traditions for you growing up as
Oh,
a
for
kid,
me growing
and then
up.
I'll give mine from growing up as a kid.
Okay.
What's your favorite family traditions when it was all of y'all together back when y'all were? He was in the ministry and y'all were doing all that.
Okay, well,
because
I
I've
will-
heard some good stories.
I will say this. When I was young, my parents got divorced, but I think they tried really hard with us children because my mom remarried, so I had my mother and my stepfather and my father. But on holidays, they would try to do the holiday together so
They-
that my dad
yeah.
would be there and my mom and my stepdad and
Even
all
when
of
it was
us.
all of us kids, we would all go up there
Yes.
and
So,
they'd be there together.
You know, and they tried to be cordial with each other, even though there were definitely hurts on both sides. They tried to do that for us children, and I was always grateful of that. So it was nothing unusual to see, my mom, my dad, my stepdad all sitting down playing cards together at our family events because
Us kids didn't think nothing about it because we didn't know that it was
but
even weird.
because they were trying very hard. They knew they didn't want us to be torn
Yeah.
over holidays. And that's why I kind of developed, when our kids started getting married, I didn't want my kids to be torn over choosing, am I going to go to my parents for holidays or the in-laws? So I tried
I
to
love you
have,
day kinda gave me
I
big.
tried to have my holidays not on the day so that they could be free to go to in-laws, and I would have mine on any day because I don't care what day it is, just as long as
Well,
we
we
have to
have
get
the
together.
I Love You Day too. That's
and
like,
we had I Love You Day.
because
So
some of the family will split it between different people, or like
Yeah.
Whitney's situation. Her mom's by herself now, so we try to give her
Yeah.
those, and it works out perfect because we still have time to get everybody
Right.
together. Although I will say, it is very difficult, even with that, to get all of the family together. The closest we got, I think, recently was Dad's
Yes.
birthday.
Well,
'cause
it's
on New
getting
Year's.
harder because if you think about it, a lot of our kids have a lot of children now.
That's
There's some
hard to travel
big
with a lot of children.
families. So yes, it is harder. Your children are involved in more things. Your kids do activities and lessons, and all the kids do. So it's a lot harder.
So for me, if you had to ask me my favorite family traditions growing up, I don't know that I could pick just one because truly everything we did was as a family. And it's kind of hard to look back now and remember some of the things that will never be able to happen again. But I think one of my favorites was going to Papa Bill's really young, going to the farm, playing baseball with Mama Jane and Papa Bill. We would play baseball and croquet in the backyard. And looking back, then it was something we looked forward to, like this is just the ultimate part of our year. But looking back now as a dad, that was literally, 30 minutes that we would be out there. It was not a long time. And it makes me realize with my kids, the favorite things that they remember may not be something that some 3-day weekend trip to the beach, that's some extravagant thing. It was literally, of all the trips we took, of all the things we did, it was 30 minutes of just dedicating and focusing on us kids and doing that. And
Every minute matters.
Yeah, it's the little things. Our playtime with Dad was one of my favorite family traditions. Dad would come home from work. He was in a very high-pressure sales job at Nabisco, and he still made it a point to come home. Him and Mom made a decision. They wanted to have time with the family, and he would be home from work at 5:30, and we knew 5:30 it was playtime with Dad, and us kids would be waiting. Dad. And to us, it was the highlight of the whole day. I remember just waiting. What are we going to do? And looking back now, it was literally 30 minutes of us riding around the yard on our four-wheel, on our little, them little push cars.
Oh, little scooters
them little three-wheeled scooters,
yes.
big wheels.
Big wheels, yeah.
He would push us down the hill. We'd sit on the scooter, and he'd push us down the hill on that big wheel. And to us, it was just the highlight.
Oh, yeah.
It was I still remember those moments and doing those things. We'd play hide and seek with our sheep, Abraham.
It's the time together. It doesn't really matter what you're doing.
But he was focused. It was 100% focused on us kids. There were no cell phones. There were no movies. There was nothing else to distract. We would sit down and do that together. This is one I actually would love some advice for as well. I see this thing, and I would love some advice for keeping kids entertained inside in the winter. Because I'm going to be honest. I use a movie at night and some card games and board games, but it's just so easy when it's too cold.
Well, I'll say this. You mentioned screen time, so I'll say this. If your kids are used to a lot of screen time, it's actually harder to entertain
Easy in the moment, hard in the long term.
It's easy to say, go watch more screen time, but you'll notice they're whinier wanting screen time instead of creative play. So y'all didn't have a screen growing up. We didn't have things like that. And y'all, I didn't have to say, oh, go do this, go do this. Y'all were so creative in your play. Every one of you had different personalities, but you all knew how to entertain yourself without us, having to have props and toys and things.
I've noticed even with the kids, I have to put kind of limits on video games, because if I don't, they'll video game to the point that they don't enjoy their video games anymore. They'll actively be bored while playing a game.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like your brain just gets too much of a good thing.
You know that with our younger kids, we watched more movies and TV, and we do that for entertainment a lot now. And so I see that they're not always as creative,
Yeah. Lily is obsessed with Moana. The first thing she asks for when she wakes up is Moana.
Yeah.
And she'll sing her first part of the song. But when you turn it on, she would sit just glued to it, watching every moment. Now she wants you to turn it on, but then it's just as soon as it starts and as soon as that first song is over, she's done.
I'm not gonna lie, I love a good movie. I do.
I do.
I talk about movie night. I love a good movie. So I'm not saying don't do movie, but maybe if we can. If we can limit it more. But if you've got little kids, here's something that we did. We would have a basket of toys that we let y'all play with for little kids. We would put the other basket in the basement. And then about 3 or 4 months later, we would just swap the toys. And it was like y'all were opening Christmas. There were new toys. You were interested in them, And it was less toys to clean up. And, you didn't need that many toys out, but it really was like if we just rotated them every 3 months. So the same toys,
you just switch them?
We would just switch the baskets every 3 months, and it was like, oh, I'm fascinated with this again. It entertained the little guys. It kept them entertained. But you mentioned another thing, a family game night.
Family game night is the best. It truly is. It can be messy.
Yes.
And you can get some good arguments out of it, but it is the best.
But you talk about creating memories, and it's bonding. Yeah. I still remember playing card games with my family It's some of the
yeah.
funnest things ever. And we have a whole stack of games we rotate, around that we play.
We never get to the rotating stage yet. Right now we buy a game, play it till we lose all the pieces.
Yeah, and then it's something.
Get a
new.
different game, and then when the kids remember, why don't we play this anymore? Because y'all lost all the pieces,
And-
so we buy it again.
And you'd be
If I bought Monopoly once, I've bought it 20
yes.
times.
You'd be surprised though how young kids can play games that, I see the grandkids playing games. I'm like, whoa, they know how to play that,
Yeah.
They do. So
And they love it. They love the attention, especially for me. I think one of the hard things to learn as a dad was how important it is for a kid to win.
yeah.
Because I grew up and I was the kid and I like to win. And I don't know. It's just, I know the strategy. I know the rules. Why not implement what I know and win? But those first times that you get your kids and they get a little older and they win, it's life-changing for them. They'll never forget. They'll talk about it for ages
great.
when they beat dad. And
Right.
it was a big deal to them. And
But, it teaches them, games teaches them important concepts because they also learn how to be good losers
I
sometimes
try
too.
to teach them Monopoly. You buy every single piece of property that you can, because if you own all of the property, you'll win eventually. And that, of course, works in my favor
All
as
right,
a real estate agent as well.
Real quick, before we move on, name a couple of your favorite games. I'll name a couple of ours that we do.
Monopoly, always the top.
Yes.
The older Bradley, me, and your older kids,
Yes.
Jeb, we love Risk.
Risk,
Can't beat
yes. And the one, I don't know if it's pronounced Catan or Catan.
Oh, yes.
It's similar to
Settler,
Risk.
yes.
Catan.
That one's a good one.
Yes.
I have not played that a lot. I played that with Aaron and Chad. It was one of their favorite games before
Yeah.
they moved to
Our
Florida.
boys love it. It's a
And
boys game. They love it.
Ticket to Ride.
Yeah.
I love Ticket to Ride.
Ticket Ride, that's mine. I love
That's an awesome one.
Carlin had introduced us, the Stewarts introduced us to Cover Your Assets. It's one of
for
my
a card
favorites.
game. Cover Your Assets and Monopoly Deal are probably my two favorite. But Whitney
Yeah.
loves the traditional. She loves Uno and
Uno,
Phase 10.
you can't beat Uno. I love
Phase
Uno.
10 is like the Monopoly version of a card game for me. It's that
Yeah.
game that never ends. It goes forever.
I love spoons, where trying to grab the spoon last.
I
I,
don't do
love
that.
that. I love
No.
that. There's so many good games. I love Cover Your Assets and Ticket to Ride.
The kids have got several creative, I don't know the names of all of them, but the kids love card games.
Yeah.
And they've had several different ones that have been like, we'll play it for a month.
Simple card
We've played
games.
several card games with the kids that they just really love. Like after dinner, sit around and play a card game as soon as the table's cleared. And it
Yeah.
keeps everybody around the table, especially, if you're just doing it one night a week. If you have a family dinner, because a lot of times we'll just eat here at the island. But I'll
Yeah.
try to either eat outside on the table or eat in our back room table and just actually eat at the table for one meal.
Yeah,
a
I love
week.
that.
And then
I
sit
love
around
that.
and play cards afterwards, and they really love that.
Yeah, it is bonding.
Would love advice on keeping internal peace when the children are misbehaving. Listen, I do not want to do an ad for Apple, but I will tell you the AirPods, they have the noise canceling AirPods. You can pick your favorite soundtrack.
Oh my goodness.
If it's really active and they're in actual, a big fight, the Avengers soundtracks go great with that. There's a lot of different soundtracks that you can use. There's music if you've got encouraging music you listen to. That's uplifting if it's just really depressing how bad they've got the house. But AirPods, greatest invention ever for helping
that's
you find your inner
funny.
peace. What would you suggest?
It's funny. I've always said this, and whenever I feel stressed or I don't want to be stressed, I would catch myself humming some music. I bet I would hum hymns or hum what came to my mind. And the kids kind of started learning, Mom's humming.
That means we're about to clean the house. That means we're about to clean this house from top to bottom.
But it also meant that I could keep my inner peace so that I wasn't too stressed. If I wasn't humming, that's when it was,
Well, wait till you try
bad.
the noise canceling AirPods.
Okay.
What do Mama B and Zach prefer, pancakes or waffles?
Oh, easy for me. Pancakes all day long. I'm not a huge waffle person.
I love a waffle. I love a Waffle House waffle. Belgian waffles, the crispy ones, no, not a thing for me. But the Waffle House soft waffles, I love.
It's the
that being
soft
said,
pancake.
nothing in the world can beat a fluffy IHOP pancake. Now, my kids, 10 times rather IHOP over Waffle House. My kid's obsessed with Waffle House. My wife loves Waffle House. I've ate at IHOP like twice since I've been married. But I love a good, fluffy, buttery pancake.
It's pancake.
Can't beat it with a stick.
All day long, it's pancake.
but
And
they
you've
love waffles.
mastered
Now listen,
breakfast on the grill.
I've got some good
you
pancakes.
have mastered it.
Now I'm always trying new pancake recipes. I probably have 30 pancake recipes
Yeah.
that actually I would go to and return
Yeah.
to different ones. Like some are crispier, they're fried hotter, and they're actually like a fried pancake, so they're a little crispier.
It's funny.
But then some of them are like super soft, and I'm about to try a Japanese. Have you
I
seen
have
Japanese
not.
pancakes?
I've never heard of it even. but it's got to be good. If it's pancake, it's good. I am not a huge breakfast eater. I don't care for breakfast. So what we would
Breakfast
do,
for supper.
we would have breakfast for supper, and
Yep.
I loved breakfast
You'd
for
get
supper.
them turkey sausage links or the turkey
Yes.
sausage patties, pancakes, and eggs.
Yes.
Now, I didn't love eggs because after them chickens, I was tired of eggs.
We ate
but
eggs so
we ate
many
eggs
times.
For everything. Describe your children in one word. Mom, start at the top. One
Are
word
you
for each
serious?
kid.
You said you were doing short questions. That's not
It's only one
short.
word. That's a one-word question.
Just one word. Zach, I would have to say intellectual, because you literally are the smartest person I know. I have joked all my life. I mean, you have a million good qualities.
I've gotten so much dumber since I was
No,
16,
a
Mom. I knew
million-
everything when I was 16.
There's
I
a
don't know as
million
much now.
good qualities I could say, but I've always said in a joking way that he is a walking encyclopedia.
Of
And
useless information.
me and Whitney laugh because sometimes he gets to rattling off information even now. And I'm just sitting here nodding and smiling going, really? Really?
She's got her
Because-
AirPods in.
No, I'm like, this is so over my head. I can't even understand what he's saying.
No.
But I don't want to feel dumb. So I'm just like, yeah, but just intellectual. Wow.
Okay.
So intellectual. Okay. Michael, I would say definitely
Just
the
one
word
word.
that comes to mind is serving. She is
100%.
constantly.
Everywhere, anybody, whether it's the people in the church that she's brought in those kids and she's helping with the kids, whether it's anybody in the family that's sick that she needs to drive across the country for her and Brandon. And Brandon's got such a servant's heart to do that with her as well.
Yeah. She's always thinking of others. With Aaron, the word would be talented. And again, for all of y'all, I could say a
100,
million words
Best
to
pianist I've ever
describe
heard.
you. But yeah, I would definitely say talented. And let's see, Zach, I have to go in order. Zach, Michael, Aaron, Lawson. With Lawson, I would say humorous.
I was going to say Barney Fife. but
People
yeah.
do not see that side of him
No.
online.
When I see him online, I'm like, who is this guy and where was he when I was growing
And he's
up?
knowledgeable like you too. He's very, but I
He's
have
funny.
to say, humorous
He's so
is what
funny.
stands out. He was like our family comedian, and still to this day, him telling a story beats any entertainment
But if you
I've
turn
ever
on a
seen.
camera to try to get it filmed,
You'll never see
it'll
it.
just turn off. It's like
Yeah.
you can just sense it. Even if you're behind him and you just try
Yeah.
to sneak up,
Yeah.
it's just gone.
But he is just
He
the
transforms.
funniest person I know. And with Nathan, oh my goodness, I would say mission-minded, because he is just so...
He's a servant as well. He's always looking for somebody to
But
do
he's
something
always
for.
looking for a ministry in particular to help. How can I find this need to help this person? He's always tried, from the time he was little, trying to
From the
think of
Philippines,
how I
Haiti.
can witness or
Yeah.
help save a life. And he's even willing to endanger his own life
Yeah.
to save another life. So let's see, Zach, Michael, this is
Alyssa.
awful. I have to thank you.
I'll tell you the next one.
Alyssa, I would definitely say organized. She
The most
is
organized.
hands down the most put together, organized person. Who do you know?
We went to her house in Florida when we went to Florida this last time. We went and saw everybody there. We went and saw Aaron at the park. And actually, y'all came in.
Yes,
Then
yeah.
we went to Jackson and saw
Right.
Jackson, saw his house. Went to Alyssa, and I'm telling you, we walked in and it's like, you wouldn't think Alyssa had as many kids as she had. You wouldn't
Oh.
even know, because everything is just so ordered and so organized. Like, she's got a method
Yes.
for everything.
I mean, her schedule, her schooling, her house, everything, her life. I mean, who could load up all of the kids? I mean, now she's got older kids, but I'm talking about when they were real little, she would load them all up and go meet John for work by herself and put them all in the car, and all the other kids are like, I wouldn't do that by myself. That's hard. But she doesn't flinch. She's so
Yeah.
put together.
Tori,
Tori, oh my goodness. Okay, Tori, I would have
she's
to
actually kind of funny too.
She is so funny, but I would say probably I've got this video. I can't do this to her. I should post this video of me and her laughing. I don't want to
Oh,
use
yes.
the word. It's a different kind of funny than Lawson. It's not humorous. It's
No,
more.
it's-
what's the word for
that
laughing
deep
easily?
laughter,
Easily
yeah.
laughing. I was like, when Tori's with me and we start laughing,
Y'all can't
it's
stop. It's embarrassing.
uncontrollable.
It's
when,
embarrassing.
When her and Bobby were dating, we were going to go to this comedy show in Pigeon Forge. And me and Tori were laughing so hard that everybody in there was looking at us, and they even made a comment about it from the
It was
stage.
the comedy barn.
It was the comedy
Yes,
barn.
and
It was like Bobby's, one of his first experience meeting the family, and he's like so embarrassed. Like me and Tori are just like, I can't even describe the laugh.
Oh, I can hear it in my eye.
One time for the show, the TV show, we would do these little live FaceTime videos. And Tori and Bobby were supposed to be helping us on this, and it was live. Me and Tori started laughing. We both
just had to turn it off.
We fell in the floor. We were laughing so hard we had to turn it off. We couldn't finish the live chat. So yeah,
those were crazy.
Laughing.
Those were,
I don't know the
yeah.
word, but laughable.
Giddy.
Giddy.
I don't know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Tori. Trace. Okay. Trace, I would have to say.
Trace is the Dean Martin of
athletic.
Lawson's Jerry Lewis.
There's so many things I could say, but I would have to say
You gotta say athletic for
athletic.
Warden. I'm sorry. Trace
Well,
isn't even athletic compared to Warden, and he's very athletic.
Well, I was going to say though, Trace, me and his wife Lydia were laughing about
you know
this
what I
the
think
other
right
day.
now about Trace?
What?
Golf. Because if he doesn't, I don't even golf. I
Well,
don't even know how. And
okay,
he's
so-
calling every kid in the family asking him to golf
So
every
this
day.
is why I was going to say this, because me and Lydia were laughing. He will pick a sport he wants to learn, and he will become like the best at that sport, and then he'll buy everything he needs for that sport, and he'll become so good, and he's obsessed with doing it all the time. And then by the next season, it's a new sport. But he's so.
It was pickleball.
It was basketball. Then it became skiing. Snowboarding, and then it was pickleball, and it's golf, and it's. But anything he does, he becomes an expert. So who's after Trace? Carlin. Oh, Carlin. When I think of Carlin, this isn't the word I'm going to choose for her, but I have to tell this story. When I think of Carlin, the first word that pops in my mind is darling, because Daddy used to call her Carlin, darling, all the time. People don't know that she can play the piano like Aaron.
Very good.
She can sing. She can but
can
that's
yodel.
not my word. I was going to say she's very sensitive to the feelings of other people.
She's very sensitive.
To the feelings of other people.
And you wouldn't know that. Again, it's like Lawson being funny. You wouldn't see that on the screen.
She is so sensitive. I've seen her shed tears over other people, and she's very tender-hearted. Yeah. Very tender-hearted.
And being attentive, she will be very generous to try
yes.
to, if she can do
definitely.
anything.
And
to help
she'll do it in
situations.
secret. Yes.
She'll leave gifts at people's houses. Which several of the girls do that.
Yeah,
but that's one thing. And she'll never brag about it. She never brings it up. It's always very anonymous with her and very secretive. Josie.
Okay, Josie is like, help me think of the word, like this entrepreneur, adventure in a girl, in a girl sense of the word, of just not in an independent, but like she doesn't need anybody.
Girls, and she brings them in. And kind of is her little.
She doesn't need anybody to help her be adventurous. Like she was the first one in the family to be like, oh, I'm going to go do this skill, and I'm going to go out here and get a job and do this, and I'm going to use it to pay for my wedding and pay for this and pay for that. And she's just so.
Her and Kelton both have that very entrepreneurial,
but like things
mindset.
that I would be scared to tackle, and she dreams so big, and then it happens. I'm just so proud of her. And then Katie is the word. She's the one that I was going to use the word giving for. All of them are generous in their own ways, every one of them. But Katie definitely is one of the biggest givers that I know. And it's not just because she gave me a car this year.
That was a big gift.
No, it's not just because that. But Katie has always been this giver. Like even in college, when she was in the beauty school, haircutting school, she would sneak and put money in all the girls' drawers, trying to help them out. And I would know about it, but they wouldn't know. And
well, they will now if they watch this show.
All of her life, she's been that way. If you have a need, it's going to be Katie.
Have been generous, though.
They are,
but Katie that is very attentive to people's needs and generous as well.
That definitely is just something that is her heart. Really?
Very much so.
Really?
And I can call her and she knows, everybody that needs something and everything going on. She's very in tune.
Oh, she's always like, don't buy this. Let me, to Addie and Ellie, come by. Let me give you this. Let me give you this. She does it to everybody.
Jackson.
Okay, Jackson. Oh my goodness. He's a miniature Zach. He cooks. He's an encyclopedia like Zach. But I would say
what great hair, though.
With Jackson, he is a cutie. The word that I'm saying is doing stuff with their hands.
Diligent?
No, doing stuff with their hands. Like from the time I remember Jackson deciding that he wanted to make me something, and he built me this bookshelf, and I'm talking about he was little.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, Jackson, I wanted to encourage that. I'm like, Jackson, I need some racks to hang clothes on. So he built me that. Then he ends up, later building himself his own bed.
Yes,
and
I remember that.
He
out
would
of that truck tailgate.
We would be going to throw something away, and he'd pull out the trash, and it'd be something mechanical, and he'd pull out all the parts, and he would put it, back together and work on it. He bought an old truck one time so that he could take it apart and put it back together, and he's always finding little things. He got into wood burning, and then he got into making leather
Made several
work,
holsters and stuff for us, yeah.
and knife cases and Bible cases, and just whatever he does with his hands, he is good at
And he
it.
does construction for a living, so I mean that checks out. He's down there building docks. He built houses out in Arkansas, so he's definitely good and thorough and diligent with that. I don't know what the word craftsman. Jackson's a craftsman.
Yes. Okay. Warden. So
That's
yes,
athletic. I'm
yes,
sorry.
he's athletic, but I'm not going to choose that one. Yes, he's sensitive and tenderhearted like some of the other ones, but I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to say with Warden, it's skilled, because Warden is one of these guys. He does construction.
Naturally can do anything.
He naturally. So Chad had this construction business, and first Jackson worked for him, and then Trace worked for him, and then Warden came along and worked for a while. But Warden can just like do any job, and he's the one that everybody calls on. You do construction too. A lot of the guys in the family do.
Well, building,
but
when it
Warden
comes to finishing,
is
he can
just
make it look good.
Oh my goodness!
I can make it stand up. He can make it look good.
All of the kids call him in. Can you do this? He's
Yeah.
wallpapering for Carden right now.
Yeah.
He'll do a backsplash. He just finished backsplash and remodeling Tori's entire kitchen. Actually, her floors, her counters, her backsplash, everything. He is just so skilled at what he does. I have seen, people that were in business in different crafts look at his work and say, wow, can I hire you? He's really, really skilled.
Isaiah,
I want to say is wise. Isaiah is in Bible college right now. He's in his last year of college for preaching. And he is so wise with his time. He doesn't waste any time, anything. He is just knows what he's going to do, but he is very wise about everything he does, the decisions he makes. He wants everything to be, a good decision, something that God would want him to do. And he's just very wise about every choice he makes, I feel like, in life. Adley, oh my goodness. She has to be one of the most tender-hearted, sweet people.
She's like a junior Michael
in the entire world. Yes, she will do anything for anybody, but she literally is one of the most tender-hearted persons I know.
My kids love her. When they even find out she's at the big house, or if she's coming over to the house, they go ecstatic over seeing her, because she always makes them feel so special. And just she's one of those people like Michael that can come into a room and just make you feel like you're the only person in the room with her.
Yes. And Adley's just got one of those hearts that's bigger than life itself, Ellie, adventurous.
Yes, she is the life of the party. I love Ellie.
She is the life of the party. She's the female warden because they're not afraid to do anything. They're the ones that would, go skydiving or jump off a cliff at the lake for, in the water. And they're just so adventurous.
My kids love her. She comes over too because they know they're going to do something. They're going to go on a hike. They're going to go on a walk. They're going to go.
And people, they don't get to see a lot of the younger kids, so they don't know how funny Ellie is too. But Ellie's got a very funny
And she is the best movie picker. She will never let you down on a movie. She's never picked a bad one.
She makes me laugh, and it's got one of those personalities. You don't know if she's joking or not or being sarcastic, but she is absolutely hilarious.
She cooked with me a few weeks ago.
Adventurous, spunky. I love her to death.
I laughed watching the episode. I'm like, that was actually so fun. I
love her to death.
She's such a fireball.
Oh, my goodness.
Callie.
Okay, Callie is, I would have to say, loyal. Callie wants to please everybody. She will do anything. If she knows you like something, she's going to do it. If she knows somebody else likes something different, she's going to do that. Whatever it is to please you. She really, really, she's like this with her dad, and it's because she's got that personality,
and Dad loves that personality.
He loves it. But yeah, she's down in Florida right now helping with Aaron's kids. She asked if she could stay and help, and she's always volunteering to help. She just really wants to please. There's not a night that passes by that she does not send me a text this long, tell me how much she loves me and how grateful she is. It's just
Judson's
sweet.
over here standing behind the camera going, stop it here.
You're
no
next,
more.
buddy. You're
Judson's
next.
over here. You're next, Judson. I know why you're in here. You're in here just to hear what Mom's going to say about you. Mom, one word for Judson.
You know what's funny? My word for him
He's looking directly at her. If Dan was here, he'd get it.
Yes, I'm looking at him. My word for him has changed because somebody pointed this out to me in the family recently. He went to Trace's house a few weeks ago, and Trace called me and said, Mom, what has happened to Judson? He is so mature. And he really is. When I look at him, of course, he's shot up, he's tall, but when I look at him,
he was hoping you were going to say good looking.
He is so mature
I'm
now
sorry,
that
we can't lie.
It literally blows my mind to see how just grown up he is now. He's mature. I could think of a million things he can do good. He is, he's one of those
around here and
athletic
just
ones.
show
Come
him how
on, Judson.
mature you are.
He really
the
is.
things you could say about me. Mature, seriously.
You really are.
He's
You really
like,
are.
You
I
could
guess
say
that's
that
the
I'm
most,
a champion, but,
Yeah.
but that didn't get said.
because it's such a new thing in my mind. Because until Trey said that, I've pictured in my mind Judd and Jeb and the youngest, and they're my little boys. And when Trey
You know what
said
they're going
that,
to say
I
next?
thought,
They're going to say you're old. So
but he
I'm
got,
gone. I'm
but
gone.
no, come back. The reason Trace said mature, he's like this gentleman. Trace went on to describe. He had taken him to play golf.
Gentleman is the right word for him. That's exactly what Whitney says about
Yeah.
him. She's like,
So-
Judd is such a gentleman.
Yes. So Trace was like, "Do you want something, Judd? Can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you this?" And he's like, "No, thank you. I'm fine." He's just such a perfect
No, we
gentleman.
love Jeb to
and-
death too, but Jeb will be like,
Yes, can I have
2
this,
packs
this,
of
this,
M&Ms,
yes.
1 Pepsi, a root beer, and a pizza, and can I come
Yes.
over?
when Judd goes out in public, like I don't have to worry like how he's going to present himself because it's always such a mature gentleman. Just really,
Yeah,
I'm
he
so
really is a
so
gentleman.
impressed. So impressed.
Very
Okay
impressed with
with
you,
that.
Judd.
So impressed.
I'm okay with that.
You're also a champion, though. Thanks for pointing that out.
The champion.
The GOAT.
Okay,
Anyways,
last but not least.
Last one.
Jeb, I want to say is, I don't know the word for this. I've already used the word tender-hearted, but people don't know this about Jeb. They'll think, oh, my baby, the one I babied, and that is true. He got babied.
Spoiled.
But
I didn't know you were going. I didn't know you had it in you to say the word.
But
Mom.
his quality is he is so thoughtful with the little.
really is.
He plays with the grandkids for hours.
He will sit with my littlest kids.
Yes.
And he could build a Lego. Jeb is probably the smartest Lego maker I've ever seen. He can
Yeah.
put a Lego together from seeing the picture on the box without instructions in minutes. I mean, he just
Yeah.
thinks like that. I don't know how he does. And he can do.
He'll create his own.
But
Yeah.
he will sit there with my kids and help them do things one
Yeah.
little block at a time and walk them through
Yeah.
it like a true adult. You never realize that
And
he's
the
sitting there
little
just spending so
kids,
much time
like-
with 4-year-olds.
The little kids, like, Riker, who's just, a little guy. He'll just play with them. If I'm babysitting, he'll go along with me and help me. And he'll play literally without complaining. And obviously, the kids are not his age, but he does not mind sacrificing his time to help them play. So he's got a big heart. He really does. Thoughtful.
That's that's the longest one-word description you'll get of every one of us in time. It's good to know that you didn't just do great with me. You did good with some of the other kids as well.
I feel like y'all all share a lot of really
Yeah.
good qualities, though.
Yeah. I tried to pass them on as
Thank
many as I
you.
could.
Thank
You're
you for
welcome.
that.
Anyways, thank y'all so much. That was a lot longer than I meant it to be for a Q&A, but we had a lot to catch up on. We hadn't done one in a while. If you ever want to be a part of one of these and you ever want to ask a question, follow me on Instagram. That's where I ask the questions at because it's got such an easy way for me to drop a box and people to fill it up. And I typically film on Wednesdays, so if you happen to be on your Instagram on a Wednesday and I'm filming, you might get a chance to ask one. Anyways, thank y'all so much. Hope to see you guys next week. If you hadn't seen it yet, check out the chicken pot pie. It is truly a comfort food that I did not realize was so versatile. So, see y'all guys next week.